Okay, guys, looking at agencies' reviews on Google. So, when you're looking at considering a real estate agent, you look at the reviews. It's a great platform. How people use it, we're going to talk about it today. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Claire Witt here, expert property manager of many years. Great to have you on today. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you. I feel these winter months though are starting to, have an effect on the old body here. I think I'm getting a
Win-
cold, but it's all good.
Winter is coming. Winter
It's
is
coming.
coming.
It sure is. It sure is. Got my warm jumper on today, but to
And
handle
good,
this topic.
yeah, and good luck to everyone who's had these floods
Oh yeah,
in
that's
north of New
terrible.
South Wales. Our thoughts with you guys. I hear in Tari, it's a 1 in 500 year event.
Wow. And
It's nuts.
it's crazy. And it's a lot of elderly people I can see getting lifted up out of these waters in choppers, and that it's terrible. It's really hard on all the community involved. And yeah, we just hope everyone's safe for sure.
Stay safe, stay safe. Now, Cleo. So we are a beautiful target. We are the largest rental agents, one of the largest rental agents in Sydney, managing over 2,000 properties, which includes probably 4 to 6,000 tenants. There we have review platforms like Facebook. We have review platforms like Google. We have lots of lovely reviews. Our hearts get broken when we don't get a good review, and we sort of it's we talk about it amongst ourselves because everyone works in the business so hard, genuinely so hard, and it sort of hits rock bottom when you get a bit of a tough review, doesn't it?
Look, it definitely does, especially in property management. I think this wave of social media has changed our industry immensely for good and bad. When it comes to sales and reviews on, Google platforms and things like that, it's usually to compliment the agent and how amazing they've been in selling their home and getting a record price. In property management, mostly 90% of reviews are tenants complaining of the outcome of their tenancy. So, as a property manager for 16 years, I have had to take tenants' bonds, I've had to terminate tenants, I've had to go to NCAT, short of seeing people in the street and having a verbal stoush, which never happens. You do get the social media, backlash, and it's coming a lot of the time. We often, joke around, in the office with our fellow colleagues. Oh, well, just wait for my review now. Like I've had to do something that is not favourable. As part of our job, it's part of our job. We don't own all these properties ourselves. It's not in our best interest in any way to, displace tenants or take money or do things. That's what we're paid to do sometimes, to make these tough and hard decisions. So um, as a thank you, we do get these reviews a lot of the time, that we feel are unjust. And there's no platform for PMs to write about what really happens in a tenancy. There's no Google for PMs to, complain about all the things that we deal with on a day to day basis. So, we understand it, and it's fine. You have to be thick skinned in this industry. You really have to not take it personal. But even, doing this over 15 years, I still take it personally. I take every review personally.
Yeah.
You take it home with you to your kids, your husband. You just go, I can't believe this. Like, when my husband's used to it now, it's 15 years in. He's like, I don't want to hear it. Like,
I think it's look, if you look at how it cleaned up the taxi industry or the Uber industry, like it's these reviews are fantastic because they've really, you get a water in a taxi sometimes now. These guys are trying real hard. You know what I mean? To you
Yeah,
know to
Uber, even, yeah.
they're it's produced a a better result. And I think with real estate agents, there's a certain amount of bad news you have to deliver sometimes on behalf of a landlord. And I do see the reviews come through. Not look, they're not a lot, but I think when you've got 60 or 70 sets of tenants moving out and 60 sets of tenants moving in, it's generally it's a harder thing to keep on top of. But what I find is the thing that I love is whenever I see this come through, and it will probably be once a quarter, where there's something that comes through and it's like, oh. But what I love is seeing the response come back from a property manager in our agency with the facts. And so it goes something like this, like I can't believe this happened or that happened, and I was kicked out of my property, and I was told this, and my bond was taken. And then you see the property manager's response with, "Here's the photo of the damage. Oh, here's the oven. Here's the disgusting oven. Here's the tenant burnt out the unit. The owner, the landlord, which was the church. Sometimes we have land, churches where we act for churches and stuff like that. Whoever the landlord has said this, and the facts come through. And if you read the beginning and you read the end, you sort of, I think, as a consumer looking at a review, you'll go, I see the balanced story, but you're still left with 1 star.
Exactly, exactly. And, everything we do is recorded in the office. We use our database software, every email, every notice, everything is recorded. Every photo we keep on file, tenancy ledgers, they're forever. Like, we can't fabricate our claims in any way. That's why when we go to NCAT, we have to have real heavy documents to support what we're saying. We're not just, making
Heavy.
these comments willy-nilly, or just making decisions for no reason. But yeah, it is. It's part of our industry. It's tough. Like you said, there's not a lot of reviews that come through in the day to day. And in an ideal world, we'd love everyone to be happy, rainbows and flowers, but it doesn't always happen that way. The bond money is the contentious point, and sometimes it's access for property, where a tenant might not know an agent's coming through, even though we send letters and SMSs and we have safeguards. These things can put a tenant off, and they sometimes, think that it's on purpose, or that there's some agency conspiracy involved, and there really isn't. We're there to collect the rent for the owner, give tenants, nice properties to rent. We try and help with maintenance. We're placing people in homes, and we are a caring bunch, so at the end of the day, maybe keep that in mind when you're reading some of these reviews. I don't know if
I
it's
mean,
something that you like to do. I personally don't. I don't review at a restaurant. I don't review. If I don't like a meal, I just go, I'm not coming back to eat this meal. I'm just not one of those people. Like, I just don't. So, and I don't look at reviews when I go to book something, or I'm just not that person. I just might ask a friend, have you stayed here, or have you dealt with this person or that person? And that's fine for me, but I'm not going to go down that. Yeah, I don't spend
that
that much
rabbit
time
hole.
online on the rabbit hole. Yeah, that's right.
So I guess advice to tenants out there, and I find it interesting because normally the review doesn't come in when the event happens. That the bad
After they've
review
moved, it's well after they've
after
moved.
they've moved into been accepted, when you've given them a reference, to go into the new place, then comes the review later. It's like, oh,
And
seriously?
sometimes, you look at some of these. If a property was so bad, or a scenario was so bad, why would you stay there for 16 years?
Yeah.
A long, long, long time. There's break lease clauses, there's ways to get out of things. I've had many tenants that have found a property not suitable, or the circumstance not suitable. And it's like, say la vie, let's do a, amicable split. here's your, money back, your bond back, and whatever back. Everybody just moves on. You wouldn't stay somewhere such a long, long, long time if it was that bad. I think rents are going to, they've played a big part in why you might stay, because these rents in this particular one that we might be talking about is the rent was very low, not
Yep.
even comparable for a two bedder to a one bedder. So you could save money in this property for many, many years to buy and purchase. And some landlords are really happy with that. They nurture that. They say, you know what? I have a few properties, or I inherited this property. I want to be Mother Teresa and keep the rent low for 5 years for this person. And it happens a lot. I manage a lot of properties where the owners always say, no, I don't want to increase. The tenant's been really good to me. I don't want her or him to struggle. Fair enough, and that's why you might stay in a property where the garage door's a bit creaky or the paint's a bit yellow or this or that, because if you were to move, you're going to be paying $400-500 a week more for the amenities that you currently have, or if you want more amenities. So I guess that's another thing. I feel as well these new legislative laws are going to create more havoc. I don't want to be the Grinch or doom and gloom person, but I feel like if it's harder for a landlord to want to end a tenancy now, the tenants have even more control and even more power in that respect. So, watch this space.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I think the best advice I can give out of a real estate agency's reviews is if you're looking at a real estate agent's review, just have a look at the quality of the agent, read the whole review, read it from beginning to end, because I think you'll actually on balance then make a balanced decision rather than the opening comment. Because you see one star opening comment, oh shit. But when you look at stuff like ours, you'll see, one star opening comment, and then you'll read the rest of it and you actually see what happened. We'll actually put photos um, in there of the property and the reality in there of the property, saying, okay, thank you for your review, but please consider XYZ. We're very factual, and everything's documented on those reviews. So read them all. Look, I would I change not having the platform? No, I think the review
I would.
platforms are. You would.
PMs definitely would.
Look, I think the whole Google review things was a necessary thing for people to have their say. Social media is another way that people will get on there and have a hack. But again, we see the property. We know when you get the rest of the story, the balanced story, it sort of starts to make sense. And I think the weight of reviews, always makes up. But a good agent is not asking praising for their reviews to be documented. They're just getting on and doing a great job. But I think a good agent these days is now actually saying, I know, but can you also give me a review, Mr. Tenant, Mr. Landlord? Because we don't hunt them. I remember buying a car, and the way they hunted the review from me was just like, wow. And it was even I was even what do you call it, not bred, I was combed, or I was primed prior to the review to say, and 5-star here and a 5-star there as well. And then when I did something wrong with the review, they asked me to go back and fix it, and I was like, wow. So there's a lot of effort. So a lot of industries put a lot of effort into their reviews, and real estate agents are not one of those. But I think it's going to have to be that way now in the future, because that's the review system's not going away.
Well, look at influencers. That's their whole job, isn't it? They're reviewing products, and it's
Yeah,
a living, breathing job. But I think for us as well, just knowing that we're accountable, we've been in our industry, in our work for over 10, 15, 20 years, so it's not like we've been in the industry a couple of years. So yeah, same,
interesting.
same
Salty
people.
tenant reviews, revenge, or real talk. Thank you for coming on today, Claire. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great
Thanks,
morning. Bye,
Ledge.
guys.
Take care. Bye.